Hey world, 9 minutes motivation at 9 a.m. is inspired by me and sponsored by the Kingdom College. Preparing you for life. The only college that teaches you life skills, business skills along with academics. I am Deepak here and my life is beautiful and stay on top of the world because I work as worship. There's one particular route that I take to go to Bangalore, central of the Bangalore from where I stay, where I live. And that is one of the shortcuts to reach early as per Google Maps. Very nice road. There's a place where the road becomes very narrow and same traffic. It's a residential area. A lot of shops are there. People walk on the road and vehicles keep passing by. For a long time or for a longer time, the road is perfectly good for two vehicles to pass. But one particular spot will come where the road is very narrow. And I've been doing this for almost now close to 1 year, that route. And yesterday, as I was going on that road, and I was been driven by Ramesh, my driver. So that particular 10 meters, not even 10 meters, 5 meters road patch is there. So from the other side, there was one Innova. From here, it was my SUV. And we were just crossing. And this happens regularly in that route. Mostly we find a way, but sometimes two big vehicles will come together like that. So when that point comes, no, something very exciting happens, which I realized last drive only. They come fast. They come. At that point, they choke. This choking point. So when they come opposite to each other like that, they're so slow. They will say left, right, okay, left, right, then rear view, side view. Then they will take the mirror inside. The other guy also will take the mirror inside, and they will keep telling each other, "Okay, come little this side. Okay, come." He will tell, "Okay, you go that side," and it takes 1 to 2 minutes to pass because they're so careful that there should not be a scratch on the car or there should not be any dent on the car. And this is almost, it happens once in 3 4 days. It always happens. Yesterday it was happening. I realized, isn't it true with relationships also, that when we are on our own we can just zip, and there are times when two people get into a relationship. It can be marriage, it can be friendship, it can be partnership, and then two big people or two people of the same stature come together, and when they are with each other, if they can also be very careful when they're very close, that what I'm going to speak or this gesture of mine or this behavior of mine should not end up hurting. Other person should be careful that since we are so closely right now walking together, living together, we should be very careful, very meticulous, very no sensible, very empathetic, that anything of mine should not disturb the other person or should not create a scar on their heart or on their mind. Like you don't want a physical scar on your car, you should not have a psychological, emotional scar in the relationship. But with the cars, we understand because we see the physical damage that can happen. We can understand the pain that physically we will go through. And so very careful because it is seen. In relationships, somehow I have seen it exactly happens ulta. When we are walking alone, living alone, we are so nice, style, panache, graceful. And moment we get into relationship, I don't know why we tend to take the other person for granted, that now that we are close, so I can say anything to you, I can talk anything to you. I have a lot of people who are, it doesn't happen with me, I don't allow it to happen, but I've seen a lot of people when they are not yet become friends, they're so good to each other. So they greet, they wish, they don't use wrong words, cuss words, bad words. And moment they come close due to being together on a daily basis, regular basis, when they come close, then they like, mm, no, start rubbing on the wrong side of the other person. Some sarcastic comments. Now you think you have the freedom to crack jokes. You can be sarcastic to the person, and you can just pull their legs and all the things that you did not do when there was a distance between two of them. I think yesterday's drive made me realize this very important lesson. When two big cars come together on a narrow road, they're very careful. They're so meticulous. They're so organized. They're so careful about every small movement of the steering can actually dent this side or that side, this car or the other car. And they keep helping, suggesting, guiding each other so that there's a careful passage so that they can move out from that narrow passage easily. If all of us who are in we all are in relationship, whether it's a parental relationship, whether it's a friendly relationship, it's a partnership in the business, or you become colleagues together, and we tend to come together. Don't you think when we are actually close, we should be more careful, we should be more humble, we should be more guiding each other, helping each other out to move out from that togetherness. Otherwise, what exactly happens opposite. I remember when Vaishali, my wife, and me are not married, and we were having our courtship period. We were so good to each other. We were so nice to each other. And God knows what happened when the day we got married together and we came close, living in the same house, under the same roof, and the same bed. And suddenly, that it was like I wasn't. It didn't matter to me that my behavior, my lifestyle, my eating habits, everything was like I used to so careless and so care a damn about it. ठीक है ना, it's okay. No, now that we are together, you should be able to accept it. But actually, when we were not so close, we're actually good to each other. And when we became very close, we just took each other for granted. There were no love yous and no highs and no good mornings. That time it was all good mornings and other things. Nothing was there. Is it very ironical in terms of cars, trucks, big vehicles? We understand this narrow passage. We should be careful. And the most important aspect of our life is our relationships. And the truth is, 90% of our problems, difficulties, misery, challenges are only in relationship. One of the reason is we are not so careful, so meticulous, so empathetic, so sensitive and sensible towards the other when we are very close. Actually, my dear friends, it's the other way. When you are on your own, you have all the liberty to live the way you want to live. But when you are with your loved ones, close relationships, you do not have that liberty to drive in the gear, in the steering wheel, accelerator. All depends upon the other person. How much will you press the accelerator? How much steering wheel will move? How much gears? What gear will you drive? Does not depend upon your mood. Depends upon the other, because a small mistake here and there is going to destroy and damage both the vehicles, both the people in the relationship. I think it's a very important lesson that I learned yesterday. I thought I'll share with you. See if it makes sense to you. If you have damaged relationship of yours with your loved ones, the reason must be when you came close, you're not careful. They believe that we will be more careful from now onwards and be more empathetic and sensitive and sensible. Let's start this beautiful day. Here we go. Guys, go set and grow.